Hello, guys. Today we are going to discuss a very interesting career growth model, and I'm going to use the name of the station or town, Vasai-Virar. Now, to start with, I must tell you this topic is Vasai-Virar career growth model. But to start with, I must mention here that I respect Vasai-Virar. I know the history of Vasai-Virar area. I am very well aware of the political, geographical, and deep port sea perspective importance of Shurparaka, that is Nalasopara, which used to be known as Surparaka in ancient times. And the history of this area is very significant. From political engagement perspective, this was a very crucial Nalasopara or Sopara was a very crucial town in those days. Now, with the imminence of Mumbai, obviously the importance got diminished, but still, if you look at it from the future perspective, deep sea port Vadhavan is coming in the same area. And geographical location is extremely important because it can help a lot from the global business perspective, global trade perspective, because it is a deep sea port. It always is deep sea port. That is exactly why Surparaka was famous for in ancient times. From there, a lot of trade used to take place in Egypt and Africa and all the other places. So, my reason behind using Vasai-Virar is not to demean or not to ridicule the names of the villages or towns, but to just use it as a reference of which is end station on the Western Line, which is the main local line in Mumbai. So I must reiterate here that Vasai-Virar, I respect Vasai-Virar and the location, and there are so many friends of mine who stay in these areas, and I really love the nature basically. And I am also aware of the historical significance of this place. So why we are using Vasai-Virar is we need to understand the public transport systems in Mumbai for that. In order to understand the importance. Now, as you may be aware, there are four major lines. We are not talking about these metros we are talking only about local train lines. The first is Western Line, which runs from Churchgate to Vasai-Virar. The second is CSMT, that is Chhatrapati Central Line, that is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus to Kalyan. The third is Harbour Line, which runs from Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus to Panvel. And the fourth line is Trans Harbour Line, which runs from Thane to Nerul. We are not discussing about metros. So, and monorails and metros in Mumbai. So, out of these four local train lines, the most largely populated, heavily populated, the most professional, most on time, punctual, and the most advanced train line is Western Line that runs from Churchgate to Vasai-Virar, and also the load of passengers on this line is extremely heavy. So why we're discussing about Vasai-Virar career growth models? As you know, in career growth model, once you get a job, you have to spend next 30-40 years in an organization, and while doing so, we also need to understand what kind of stages we'll have to pass through, what kind of activities, what kind of tactics, what kind of upskilling, unskilling, reskilling we'll have to do. How we are going to be individual contributors, team leaders, team members, team leaders, national managers, regional managers, and then the continental or the Asia Pacific managers, etc., the global leaders. So to understand the career growth models, let us consider Vasai-Virar growth models. I have seen a lot of people using this in their careers without knowing that it's a Vasai-Virar growth model. Obviously, I'm just naming the growth model to make sure that we can understand the analogy. Now, when we start, let us say I have to travel from Churchgate to Vasai-Virar. There are multiple ways of doing it. If I am highly privileged, I can use helicopter. Then if if I have political connections, I can use police protection and go there. Or if I have my personal vehicle, I can travel by road. If then I'm supposed to use public transport, then this local train is one of the possible options. And then I can also have a higher private taxi, Ola, Uber, or any other things for that matter. Or I can use my personal vehicle. It can be two-wheeler, four-wheeler, etc. But mostly we are talking about, so in career also there can be multiple ways of reaching your destination. If you want to reach Virar in your career, you can also use all of these tactics, obviously. So considering the people who opt to use career Churchgate to Virar local train, this is applicable to those people who use Churchgate to Virar to reach from Churchgate to Virar local trains. So most important point here is the objective of life in Churchgate Virar local is to get window seat. As you're aware, the atmosphere in Mumbai is hot and humid. It is always all around here almost. We only have two seasons. First is monsoon and second is summer. We don't have winters in Mumbai. So getting a window seat basically makes sure that you are ventilated properly. The air gushing from the windows can make you cool, and the fans are there obviously to support. But if you are not in window seat and if you are standing in passage, then it tends to get extremely hot. Plus, the crowd in the trains, the human body temperatures also create problems. I will not get into the other aspects of this, but the important point is to the objective of life in Churchgate Virar local is to get window seat. Similarly, objective of life in a careers is also if you are following, if you want to go from Churchgate to Virar in your careers, Churchgate your starting station. It can be your job, it can be business, it can be anything else. It can be social or political career also. And if your target is reaching Virar in your career, then one of the main options is getting Western line, getting on the train in Western line. So the main important aspect here is to make sure that your goal of life is to get window seat as early as possible when you're traveling from Churchgate to Virar, which is approximately 60 kilometers, 60. So to get window seat, some people use advanced technologies or tactics. For example, getting into a train in Churchgate station is extremely difficult, and getting window seat is almost impossible because some ambitious and some very well organized and very well planned people, what they do is they sit in Mumbai Central while the train is moving towards Churchgate. They take a return journey. And when the train reaches Churchgate, they get the window seat and then they start the journey to their homes or to their destinations in the window seat. So because of these people who are returning from the Mumbai Central or any other station, in order just to get window seat, the other people who are alighting in the train in Churchgate station have to wait for their turn, have to wait in the passage, have to stand in the passage till the people who are sitting get out or get down. So if you look at the structure of the Mumbai locals, there are 3-seater benches on both the sides, and there's a passage in between where most of the people are expected to stand. Now the new design has only 2-seater benches on both the sides, and the passage for standing people has got increased, so that more and more people can be accommodated in these trains, local trains. So the objective in life is to get a window seat. Now, when I get into the Churchgate station, my only luxury or comfort is I can get entry into the Virar local, which itself is an achievement, because once I get in, I can peacefully stand without being able to reach to my handkerchiefs or my pockets, but I can peacefully stand. It is comfort in Mumbai locals. So once we get a position to stand, then we obviously keep on moving towards the passage, towards the seats. The people who are ahead of us will be standing in between the 2 seats, and remaining people will be standing in the passages. So the window seat is our objective. Career goal is window seat, getting a window seat. So as we progress from Churchgate to Mumbai Central to Dadar to Bandra to Andheri to Borivali, people who are planning to alight, planning to get down will be getting out, and then we'll keep on moving towards the seats. So if you get since you are standing, the first option that you can get is the person sitting on the bench. If one of them gets out, then you can sit on the 4th seat. See, the seat is only 3-seater, and you're adjusting 4 people in the same seat. So the 4th person sits very uncomfortably, but he gets to sit. See, it is extremely uncomfortable, but 60 kilometers is a long distance, so people tend to sit in whatever position possible. So that is first objective first objective is made in Churchgate Vasai-Virar local to get 4th seat. Now, as we move towards Andheri, Borivali, from Bandra, Andheri, Borivali, then obviously the people who are sitting in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd seat also get up and get down. So you keep on moving from 4th seat to standing to 4th seat to 3rd seat to 2nd seat and the 1st seat. By the time you get window seat, that is 1st seat, you are already reached Vasai-Virar. Maybe 5-10 minutes you will get to sit in the window seat or the window cabin or the corner cabin in your life or in your career. So this is what Vasai-Virar career growth model is. Once you get into the company, once you get a job, just stay there for donkey's years, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And obviously, as people leave, new people join in. The growth by attrition, as they call it. As the people above you leave, you will automatically get promoted. By the time you spend 10, 15, 20 years, everybody in the organization knows you. Even owners of the organization, the decision makers and the influential people in the organization also knows you. And they also give you certain soft corners, certain leeways, certain incentives, certain dividends of being in the company for a long time. And by the time you reach Vasai-Virar, you get the window seat. which is the ultimate career objective. The same logic can be applied to careers. As you grow, get into the office, get into any office, you're spending 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, 35 years. Obviously, you get senior in the organization. Government companies, government organizations follow this rule very strictly. The first come, first serve. The seniority is measured by number of years put in the system. In corporate life, it is different. You also perform and prove your mettle and achieve your targets and ambitions, achieve your targets and goals, KRS. So as we in careers, as we move towards Vasai-Virar of our objective of our career, then we tend to get window seat or corner office in the office, corner office in our organization. That is exactly why I call it Vasai-Virar career growth model. Now, there are pros and cons of this career model. Pro, obviously, is once you get into it, you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to give any other interviews in the outside world. You don't have to worry about the remaining getting aligned with new people, getting aligned with new culture, getting aligned with new company, etc., etc. You know the people, and you just keep on growing in the organization. The cons basically are from the people who are looking at you from outside the organization, outside your organization. You may come across as a lazy or less ambitious or not at all ambitious person because you are spending donkey's years in the organization. Now, one of my friends was working with IBM, and he had spent almost 12 to 15 years in IBM. And while discussing about the number of years that he has spent in IBM, he said, "I'm almost a furniture in IBM now, at the office now. So people come and go, and I'm still sitting there." So importance of furniture, as you know, is you can understand what I'm trying to say. So that also is a con, because once we get into organization and spend 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, obviously your growth is by attrition. Since there is nobody and you know very well the influential and the decision makers, then you're in a better position to get the new role, the new promotion, the next promotion. So this also can be a career growth model. I am neither saying Vasai-Virar career growth model is good or bad. It is a matter of personal choice, personal capacity, personal ambition, personal how we perceive our careers to be and where we want to reach in life. So again, to end this video, I must insist on the fact that Vasai-Virar is used here not to ridicule or insult or make fun of, but it is just it is just used as a station, the end station on the Western Line, where the trains run from Churchgate to Vasai-Virar, which is 60 kilometers. And this is what the only objective here is. So, and I sincerely believe the deep seaport that is coming in Vadwan near Sopara, Shurparaka or Sopara, Nala Sopara, it is also going to play a major role in our Indian growth story in the future also. So this was a brief about Vasai-Virar career growth model. If you align with it, if you like it, if you think it is our cup of tea, please go ahead. There's nothing right or wrong about it. Everybody can decide their own career growth models, and they're free to follow them. Thank you very much.